Imagine making over $41,000 per year just for owning a little slice of paradise right here. Now, I am going to show you exactly how to do this, and you might be surprised how it's actually so much easier and so much more profitable than you might have ever imagined. And it's not just some secret. There's millions of people making lots of money for owning their own slice of paradise. And I'm going to teach you how to do the exact same thing, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mark Moss. I like to talk about making money. I like to talk about investing money. I like to talk about having overall success so you can live your very best life like I'm doing right here on this beach right now. Now, if you like those types of topics, make sure to click that like button right now so more people are notified to watch these videos. Of course, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you're notified every single time I put new videos out. Now, today, we are talking about investing in a piece of paradise. Of course, with investing, we're talking about hopefully making a lot of money. As I said, up to $41,000 just for owning a little piece like this. Now, as an investor, I'm kind of always working. And what I mean by that is your mind's always working. You're always looking for opportunities. You're always scanning the markets. You're always looking for the angles and things like that. And while that may sound bad, like you're always working, I think most people might agree it's not the worst type of work to be making a lot of money, especially when you're able to do it in beautiful places like this. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, then you know there's one thing that I pound the table on. Well, I pound the table on Bitcoin, but we're not talking about that today. We are talking about cash flow. Cash flow. That is my number one goal. That's my end game. And that's everybody, it should be everybody's end game. And that's why I pound the table on it. Now, what I'm talking about is building up enough cash flow, passive income coming in from investments to meet or exceed your living expenses so you're out of the rat race. So you never have to work again, at least not if you don't want to. That's why I always talk about that. Why I always pound the table on that. What I've found is it's way easier and can actually be done way faster than most people realize if you just put your mind to it, if you focus on it, and if you start working towards it. It's so much easier than most people think. Most people think they can't ever achieve it. Now, real quick, it's so important that you do this because the old model is broken. Again, I say this all the time. The old model is broken. Go to school, get a good job, save for retirement. It doesn't work. We know that. Baby boomers today, half of them have $0 saved up for retirement. Of the half that do have savings, it's less than 100 grand. That's only good for a couple $100 a month. It doesn't work. And so, who wants to work for 40 years to save up money and then live off your savings anyway? Why not work for 5 or 10 years, build up cash flow, and not have to work again? Sounds much better. And let me show you how to do that. All right, now, a couple of ways to earn cash flow, passive income, of course, stocks, dividend stocks, etc. Those are good. Of course, owning businesses, things like that, private equity, those are great as well. My personal favorite, of course, is real estate for a number of reasons, but I'm gonna give you three. One, it's the most passive, all right? Once I put someone there, I have property management in place, I don't ever think about it. Money just shows up in my account every single month, mailbox money. The second thing is that we get leverage. I can use loans, so I can use other people's money to make money, which of course I love that, OPM. And then the third is I get lots of different tax breaks, tax incentives, write-off depreciation and things like that. That is why real estate is absolutely the best. And that's why I think that you should definitely consider it if you haven't already. Now, when it comes to passive income, most people think that it has to be done locally, meaning I have to find something down the street or in my neighborhood. If a tenant has a problem, I need to go fix the toilet or whatever. But I tell people, look, you're not looking for another job. Remember, I said I like real estate because it's passive, meaning you don't have to do any additional work. I put property management in place so I never have to worry about it again. And you should too. We don't want an extra job. And so if I'm gonna hire property management and I'm gonna put them in place so I don't ever have to do anything, what difference does it make if it's down the street, across town, across the state, across the country, or even in another country in a foreign market, just like the one that I'm sitting here in Mexico right now. I'm in the town of Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. It's one of my favorite places in the entire world. Now, if you're going to make money, you should do something that you love. I say this all the time, it's not just a cliche. And so if I'm gonna make money with real estate, why not have it be somewhere that I love? So for example, you love skiing in the winter. Well, why not buy a rental home in Colorado? Now, every time you go to Colorado, that trip is a write-off. It's a business trip for you. Maybe you like going to sunny Florida so you can catch some waves and play some golf. Why not have a rental there? So every time you go to Florida, it's a write-off for you. It's a business trip. Doesn't that make sense? Now, if you love beautiful Cabo San Lucas and you love surfing like I do, why not have a home here? Now, of course, I come here on vacation all the time. And like I said, as an investor, I'm always looking through the deals. I'm always looking through the numbers. And so today I am going to bring you along and I'm going to show you 2 deals that I'm evaluating right now. I'm going to break the numbers down for you in real time, and then I'll ask you what you think. All right, now before we jump into the 2 deals that I'm gonna break down for you, I just wanna let you know that obviously we're in a weird time right now. The pandemic is still in effect, right, across the country. And we're not sure what's gonna happen. Of course, everything that we have in life has risks. We have to look at the world in probabilities, and we have to assign probability and risk ratios to things like that. Buying a place in a vacation town like this is dependent on travel. It is dependent on tourism. And so if you think that we're in a world where travel will never come back, tourism's dead, no one will ever leave their home ever again, then of course buying a home in a place like this definitely won't make sense for you. However, if you're in the camp that thinks, hey, look, this is a temporary thing, in 6 months or a year, we'll get through this, things will get back to normal, and of course, I still wanna travel, I still wanna retire, things will get back to normal, then you should probably continue to watch this video as I break down the rest of these 2 properties. Now, of course, the old saying goes that buy when there's blood in the streets, and so there's a lot of people that are thinking that there's blood in the streets, that this travel industry will never come back. And so maybe it is the perfect time to buy. But I'm gonna start breaking the first one down in this place that I'm sitting right here. Well, I'm in this beautiful condo. I'm in a brand new condo development, Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. 38 units in this building. Only about half of them are, not even half of them are done yet. They're all 3-bedroom, 2-bath, fully furnished, maintenance. We got gym, we got spa, we got restaurants, we got bars, we got pools, we got beach club. We got everything on beautiful surf breaks. And the price for this condo is about $500,000. Now, is that expensive or is that cheap? Well, it all depends. It's relative, right? Everything is relative. So let's break this down and I'll tell you if that seems, you can tell me if that seems expensive. So for this condo, about 500 grand, 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, fully furnished, all the amenities, I can rent it out on Airbnb, VRBO, etc. for about $400 per night. Now the question is, how many nights per year will I be able to rent it out for? Now, when Cabo San Lucas was cranking pre-pandemic, we could see these getting rented out about 80% occupancy, 80% of the year. Right now, during the pandemic, there's not a lot of people coming here. As a matter of fact, it's very low. We're looking more like 25%, 30% occupancy, okay? So it's really low. Now, of course, I believe that that's already starting to come back, and I think we'll see it get higher and higher. So let's break this down. So if I rented this place out, let's say at the low end, 30%, 365 days times 30%, that's 110 nights. 110 nights at $400 is $43,800. If I can get to 50% occupancy, maybe in a year from now, it jumps back up. So 182 nights, $400, that's $73,000 a year that owning this unit would bring in. 73 grand a year. Now, there is a maintenance fee. It costs $700 a month. A little expensive, but there's a lot of good amenities and it's brand new. So that's $8,400 a year. So I take the 43,000 minus the 8,400, and I then divide that by the price I paid for the building, $500,000. That gives me a 7% return at 30%. At 50% occupancy, $73,000 of income minus the $8,400 gives me a 13% return on my $500,000 investment. It's pretty amazing. 7% on the low end, 13% maybe in a year from now, sounds pretty good. All right, now there's another property that I'm looking at. And this property is out of town. It's about 30 minutes north of here, out in a very remote section of beach. It's called the East Cape. Now, it's one of my favorite places in the entire world. There's probably no other place in the world just like this place on the desert and the ocean. Now it is pretty desolate, but it's also very desirable. There's a lot of expensive homes. The homes that are along the beach, which of course are the most rare because there's only so much beach out there, they go for between $1 to $2 million. Now, of course, there's some deals less, and of course, there's some deals that are $2 million, $3 million, $4 million out here. But let's say they're about $1 to $2 million on the average. Now, this one particular home that I'm looking at right here is pretty run down. It's what we call a value add opportunity. That means that I can buy it for super cheap because it needs a lot of work. I can add value to it. And once I've added value, it's worth more money. So this particular one I'm looking at here is pretty run down, and I can get it for about $400,000. Now, just back of the napkin math, it looks like it's gonna need at least $200,000 to get this place back into order. Now, I haven't met with contractors to get exact cost, but I'm guessing it's gonna need about 200 grand to make this place look pristine, brand new, maybe put in a pool, something like that. So now I bought it for 400, I add 200 into it, I'm at $600,000. But as I said, all these houses on the low end are worth about $1 million. So I'm about 600 grand in, the house is probably worth 800 to $1 million. Not bad to make a couple hundred grand right off the bat. Of course, there's a lot of work that has to be done. It's gonna take a lot of my time. I have to do a lot of travel, put a lot of extra money out of my pocket. But let's break the numbers down. Now this house out here on the East Cape, if it was pristine and brand new like the other homes, I could probably get about $650 per night. Now again, at 30% occupancy, 110 nights, that's $71,000 a year. At 50% occupancy, would be 182 nights, and that'd be $118,000 per year. Of course, there's no maintenance fee when you own your own home, but there is maintenance. So of course I have to add a cost like that in. We'll put $10,000 a year in for maintenance. And so if we take the 71,000, 30% occupancy, 71,000 minus the maintenance, at a 30% occupancy, and I paid $600,000 for it, that's about a 10.5% return on my money. Now, if I can get up to 50% occupancy, that pushes my return, my cash on cash return, to over 18%. 10 on the low end, 18 on the high end. Now, is that good or is that bad? Well, if you've never looked at rental real estate before, you probably have no idea, but if you've invested for any type of cash flow, you'd probably know right off the bat that 10% is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, where I live in California, especially in the area that I live in, you can't even buy a house and earn passive income at all. They're too expensive. In a lot of California, you're getting 1 or 2%. In some of the good markets, Texas, Tennessee, Arizona, things like that, maybe you're getting 4 or 5% on your money. I am always looking for 10%. That's kind of my starting point. The only real way to get that consistently is to buy super rundown stuff that's really gonna need that value add like I'm talking about. So 10% is really good. And we're talking about 10 to 18% on some of these properties down here. So in my opinion, that sounds really good. Not only do I get way better returns on my money, but it's in a place that I love. It's in a place that I love to go visit. It's a place that I can use when it's not being rented. As I said, it's rented out 30% of the year. That means 70% of the year, it's open. I can come use it whenever I want. And then on top of it, as I said about the Colorado ski towns or the Florida beaches, every time I come to Cabo, it's a business trip. It's a write-off. Every trip is tax deductible. That could save me another $10,000 a year right off the bat. Now, these are just 2 properties I'm looking at right now. Of course, there's more, and I'm not gonna spend time breaking them down. The purpose of this video is to show you what's possible. The purpose of this video is to open up your mind to other possibilities. What I've found that the most powerful question that we can ask ourselves, and we should ask ourselves on a regular basis, is the question of how. How can I make it work? And most people tell themselves, oh, I could never afford that. But the question is, how can I afford that? So instead of going, oh, I could never afford a $500,000 condo, the question is, how could I afford a $500,000 condo? Could you come up with a down payment? Could the rent pay the place off for you and you could use it in the meantime? Right? There's a lot of different ways to do this. And so the point of this video was to show you there is a way if you can just open up your mind and look at things a little bit different. Now, other question you have to ask yourself is this too risky? Right? And as I asked you, right, we're going through this pandemic. Will things ever come back to normal? If you think no, then of course you shouldn't be buying anything. If you think yes, then maybe now is a good time to buy. But I want to know what you think. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Will travel come back? Do you think in a year, 2 years, things will be fine, at least get back to somewhat normal? Or do you think travel as we know it is dead and you would never buy a rental home in a vacation area? Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you like it. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. It's okay. Either way, I just want to hear what you have to say. That's all I got for you. All right, to your success. I'm out.